Well, your mom only finished middle school and works part-time. Are you after our family wealth or something? LOL. When the father of the man who promised to marry me asked about occupation, my mother answered cleaner, and his family all started laughing at the same time. Seriously, a cleaning lady? That's as low as it gets. I can't even imagine. I can't believe that they would make fun of my mother, who raised me with only her own. Becoming family with these people is unimaginable. In that case, let's pretend this conversation never happened. I said, pushing them away coldly. My name is Ela Walter. I'm turning 26 this year. I graduated from a state university's School of Education and am now teaching English at a public high school. Life's been pretty good to me. Today, after a long while, I'm on a weekday date with my boyfriend, Tom. We plan to eat at a restaurant he's reserved for us. Sorry to keep you waiting. You've worked hard this week. You too. Thanks for all your hard work. Tom, the same age as me, graduated from medical school and is currently a medical intern. We met at a college club and have been dating for 5 years now. He's so kind and sincere. I feel like he's too good for me. We've had our fair share of arguments, especially during our exams, but we always made up and supported each other. As we were enjoying our dessert, thinking how this fancy restaurant seemed a tad pricier than usual, he suddenly became very serious. My internship is about to end. Being a doctor is tough, but I want to do my best and become competent. With you, Ela, will you marry me? With those words, he presented a ring. Tom. With tears in my eyes, I looked straight at him. Thank you. I'm so happy. I believe we can support each other forever. I accepted it, trying to keep my voice from shaking. I thought my mother would be happy. My mother, Miriam, lost her husband when she was young and raised me all by herself. Her father, my grandfather, once suggested that they move in together, but she declined, and we lived just the two of us. The first time I met my grandparents was in late elementary school. We got married against our parents' wishes. I was stubborn when I was young and couldn't ask for their help. Maybe I made you go through tough times because of that. Mom would often say this, but I never felt that I had a tough childhood. My ever-optimistic, kind-hearted mother, who always showered me with unconditional love, is the most precious person in my life. She's the woman I look up to. When Tom and I want to announce our engagement, Mom blessed us wholeheartedly. Congratulations! I'm sure you'll be happy with Tom. Thank you, ma'am. I promise to take good care of your daughter. With tears in her eyes, my mother looked on as Tom made his promise. Filled with happiness, I told him, we should also meet your parents and give our regards. Thanks. I went to a boarding school and lived alone in college, so I don't see my family often, but I think they'd be happy. Make sure you greet Tom's family as well. They are going to be your family from now on. My mom was genuinely supportive. I've heard that Tom's family has a line of doctors. His father is a general practitioner, and his mother is a housewife. He also has a younger brother, about 8 years apart. I wish we could get along better. I get so nervous just thinking about introductions. Don't worry, I'll make a reservation for us to meet somewhere. Okay, thank you. I'm nervous, but also excited. We believe that a bright future was ahead of us. Yes, until that day. Then, 2 months later, on the day of our introduction, as Tom and I were waiting in a private dining room at a fancy restaurant, his parents and younger brother arrived a bit late. Nice to meet you. This is my mother. My father runs a medical clinic, and my mother is a housewife. And my younger brother, who is now a senior in high school. Tom and I introduced our respective families. As expected, Tom's parents, belonging to a family of doctors, were dressed impeccably, but his brother was another story, with his dyed hair, loosely worn school uniform, and constantly on his phone. After introductions, Tom took the lead. I would like to marry her. Hearing this, Tom's father, stroking his mustache, gently reprimanded him. Let's hear about her family first. That's right. If we're going to be family, we need to know about the other family and their personalities. His mother looked at us with a critical eye. What happened to your father today? Although Tom had already told them I came from a single-parent family, she asked. It seemed odd. My father passed away when I was young. Since then, my mother raised me by herself, I explained. Wow, seriously? Single-parent family? That's impossible. His brother, sitting cross-legged and with an arrogant attitude, said so, his face contorted in an exaggerated manner. What do you mean impossible? My mother raised me so well on her own. I am sincerely grateful. I couldn't help but raise my voice. Watch your mouth, and first put that phone away. Tom chided his brother, who looked away in annoyance. You're a high school teacher, aren't you? Tom's mother then turned her attention to me. Yes, I teach English at a public high school. As soon as I answered, Tom's family didn't hold back their true feelings. A teacher? Huh, we don't have any in our family. And a liberal arts major. Maybe you're not suitable for my son. I wish he'd married a doctor's daughter. A public high school teacher. Sounds boring and not well off. I'm heading to med school with a full scholarship. We're in different world. Stunned by their blunt remarks, Tom raised his voice in my defense. She's a wonderful woman. She's ambitious and dedicated to her job. Please mind your words. Then, Tom's father took a hard look at my mother. Even though you promised to marry her, it doesn't mean we allowed it. Single mother and teacher, huh? So, what about your mother? May I ask about your education and work? My mother responded with dignity. I have worked various jobs since my husband passed away. Now I work as a cleaner at a hospital and a school. I am a middle school graduate. Before my mother could finish, Tom's family burst out laughing. You've got to be kidding. A middle school graduate and hopping between part-time jobs. Must have been a tough life. Tom's father was clearly mocking her. Oh seriously Tilde, even with a high school diploma it's not good enough. And now you're a cleaning lady. That's as low as it gets. Tom's younger brother scoffed. Your mother graduated from middle school and works part-time as a cleaner? Oh no, that kind of life. I can't even imagine a life like that. Being married into a family of doctors, I can't even imagine it. This marriage. Are you after our wealth or something? LOL. His mother sneered, adding insult to injury. Just as I thought, we simply can't approve of this marriage. Tom's father declared, as if drawing a conclusion. How could they? I was at a loss for words. I might take it for myself, but mocking my mother, who raised me on her own, was unforgivable. To become family with these people, that's impossible. I held back my mom, who was about to stand up, and stood up myself. I understand how you all feel. So, let's just say this meeting never happened. Is that okay with you? I said coldly, my face expressionless. There was a brief silence. Then, Tom's family looked at each other and burst out laughing. Just as you were about to stand, we were wondering what you'd say. Well, we are the ones who want to end this proposal. Oh, did you see the rejection coming and decided to save some face by declining first? Tom's parents said with a smug look. Hold on, that's not it. Tom interjected, unable to stand his parents' remarks. I'm sorry, I can't become family with these people. I'm so sorry for our family's behavior. After seeing the serious exchange between me and Tom, his parents finally stopped laughing. Hey, what's there to apologize for? Yes, we'll find a suitable lady for you. Maybe a fellow doctor. Or, oh, an heiress would be good. I interrupted Tom, who was about to speak, and asked, would it have been better if I was the daughter of a wealthy family? Well, of course, even if you aren't a doctor. If you're wealthy, that would be fine. She could support our clinic, right honey? Yay, actually, that might be even better. Haha. The condescending remarks from Tom's parents continued. Maybe it's time to let them in on the truth. So, you're saying you'd miss out on that opportunity? Huh. Tom's family looked at me in confusion. What do you mean? If you and our son get married, we'll inherit wealth? Where would a part-time cleaner and an average teacher get that kind of money? Looking at my mom and brother, Tom sighed and rubbed his temples. What's wrong with you? You've been acting strange. In response to his father's clueless question, Tom exclaimed. Didn't you hear their introduction? Didn't the name Walter ring any bells? What's the big deal about that name? Why would I remember a family like Walter? Huh. It seemed Tom's father had a realization. As you might have guessed, my grandfather is the chairman of Walter Academy, and the woman here is his daughter. What? That Walter Academy, the one with everything from kindergarten to college. They even have a medical school and a hospital. Tom's father's eyes widened in shock. Yes, that Walter Academy. You're familiar with it. Now it was my turn to take the upper hand. No way that's true. The daughter of Walter Academy being a dropout and a cleaner. Impossible. That's right. Such a lie would be easily exposed. If you're going to lie, at least make it believable. Let's enlighten Tom's still skeptical parents a bit more. My mom said she works as a cleaner in a hospital and school, right? It's the Academy's school and hospital. Wah! Being a cleaner is just a cover story. It would be an exaggeration to call it an internal investigation. But it's a job where she observed the school site while cleaning and report anything that comes up. Grandfather asked my mom directly to do this. If you think I'm lying, you are welcome to ask about it. What? Oh my. It seems my detailed explanation finally made them believe. Tom's parents began to panic. Why didn't you tell us this important information earlier? If we had known this, we would have. That's what you get for not listening to the whole story. What a bunch of fools. Before I could even explain in detail, I was interrupted. I intended to answer any questions, but I'm disappointed now. I can't let it slide that not only I, but also my dear mother were insulted. I replied calmly. The reason my mother only completed middle school is because she was frail from a young age. Since my mother had brothers to inherit the family's legacy, my grandfather thought it was more important to prioritize her health rather than her education. After finishing middle school, she moved to a countryside mansion for treatment and recuperation, and she became healthier. That's where she met and fell in love with my dad. There was a big fallout with my grandparents, who wanted her to marry someone from a suitable family, and she ended up eloping. They've lived without relying on their family ever since. But when her husband died, and she was raising a daughter all by herself, her grandparents advised her to return home, but she didn't immediately comply. I was stubborn. She said, knowing my mother, she probably felt guilty for storming out and couldn't bear to come home crying. Yet, the longing to see and introduce their grandchild grew stronger in each of them. Over time, they gradually reconnected and mended their relationship. The reason we took back the surname Walter was, of course, for me. I guess he can't take in the situation. I asked his stunned brother. I heard you were recommended for admission to medical school. Which one university? Huh? Wah? Caught off guard by the sudden question, his brother panicked. Excuse me. It's the medical school at Orange Academy. Oh. He stopped short when his mother gasped. Orange Academy is a sister school to Walter Academy. If we talk about today's events, they might revoke the recommendation. Hey, don't be ridiculous. That's right, the recommendation is already decided. We even paid a bribe because his grades weren't good enough. It's too late to revoke it now. His father accidentally let it slip. A bribe. Both Ela and Tom exclaimed, "You've gone that far, Dad." No, that's not what I meant. He was cornered, and his father was visibly flustered. Beside him, my mother and brother turned pale as ghosts. You got the recommendation with such a careless attitude. So it was all about the money. Did you bribe a teacher? No, as I said, that's not. I believe the chairman of Orange Academy is my uncle. If I report this, they'll probably investigate it properly. What authority do you have? Who do you think you are? This time, his mother, her face turning bright red, snapped at Ela. I have no particular authority, but I've been told that I might work at Walter Academy in the future. What? Yes, Ela is planning to work at the academy. With that in mind, she obtained her teaching license and has been gaining experience by working as a public school teacher. Upon hearing this, his mother's tone changed to one of sweet talk. Hey, let's calm down. Let's forget about today. Depending on your attitude, I might approve of the marriage. It's a win-win situation for both of us, right? Yes, exactly. Our son will inherit our clinic. You need our permission to marry Tom if you want to, right? His father was completely trying to appease Ela. His brother also added, "If you want to get married, promise not to rat me out." Facing me self-centered 3, Tom blurted out, "I don't need your permission for marriage. I'm cutting ties with all of you." What? His family was taken aback by his sudden fury. "I always knew you were arrogant because of our lineage of doctors, but I never thought you'd behave like this when meeting my fiancé for the first time." Hey, what are you saying? Yes, cutting ties. His parents were speechless as Tom continued calmly, "I'm deeply ashamed of the insults hurled at Ela and her mother, and the fact that you tried to get my brother into med school by bribing. How foolish. Wah. I despise all of you. I don't consider you as family anymore. I will marry her and be happy. Stay out of my life." Upon hearing his declaration of disownment, his parents were in a panic. "What do you mean you're not taking over the clinic? Come on, if your younger brother doesn't get into med school, who's gonna take over?" Brushing aside his parents' earnest pleas, he responded nonchalantly, "I have no intention of taking over. The university has asked me to stay on as a surgeon. I thought I'd rather be a surgeon in the medical school than a physician at the family clinic." What? Let my brother take over the clinic? Hey, wait a minute. Think about the patients who come to our clinic because they expect you to take over someday. That's right. It'd be a problem if you don't take over. Bro, if you don't take over, where am I gonna work? Ignoring his family's pleas, he turned to her mother. "I'm truly sorry for everything. I wish to cut ties with my family here and build a life with her. Please allow us to marry." His voice seemed to quiver slightly. "You don't need to apologize. I didn't fall in love with you because you're a doctor. I fell for the kind and sincere man that you are." The woman beside him, Miriam, nodded. "Yes, I see how kind and outstanding you are. Being a surgeon is impressive. I want to support the dreams and happiness of you both." "Thank you. I'm truly grateful." He kept bowing as Miriam looked at him with a warm smile. His family looked on in a state of shock. "Mom, let's go. There's no point in staying here any longer." "Right. Well, I'll leave you to it. If you still have more to say, please contact this." Miriam left the business card of the school's legal counsel. A year has passed. Tom and I are married and living happily together. Tom stayed on at the university hospital, working diligently as a skilled surgeon. Even though his days are packed and he gets little sleep, seeing him so passionate about his work makes me happy. My grandfather, who liked him, said, in the future, he should come to our university hospital. As for Tom's family, first, the bribery involving his younger brother was confirmed, and the teacher who had taken the money faced serious consequences. His brother, with his history of bad behavior and lacking grades, had his recommendation revoked. He tried to get into med school through regular admission but was, of course, rejected. He's supposedly studying now, but given his character, it's doubtful how serious he is about it. It might be good for him to experience some hardship and get to understand people's feelings, Tom would say, shrugging. His family's clinic was struggling due to the head doctor's arrogant attitude, leading to a decline in patients. Many had hopes for Tom, but as they realized he wouldn't take over, the clinic's difficulties increased. Tom's mother, with her difficult personality, faced the resignations of many nurses and staff. Rumors spread about payoffs for college admissions, and it seems that he was shunned by relatives and the industry, eventually deciding to close down the clinic. As for me, at the request of my grandfather who wishes for me to contribute not just as a teacher, but also in management, I began studying school administration. Under the guidance of my uncle and seniors, I hope to gradually become more helpful. Miriam watched me and said, "It's heartwarming to see our family coming together again. The joy is mutual. I want to give back even more. Every day is incredibly busy with so much to learn, but I'm grateful for this fulfilling life, supported by my beloved mother and husband."